Thank you for listening to the Live Brave podcast. I'm your host, Erlina Green, author of The Beginner's Guide to Finding Your Brave and writer at erlinagreen.com. Well, welcome back to the Live Brave podcast. We are celebrating, of course, a new year. Happy 2017. Today we will discuss the upcoming presidential inauguration. In less than 25 days, Donald Trump will be sworn in as President of the United States of America. We'll talk about what kind of emotions, if any, you may or may not be having. And if they are negative emotions, what can you or where can you direct that all that energy towards to kind of better your life, your current circumstance? I did the reading again, so you don't have to. So we will discuss Neil Patel's new book, Hustle is the title, and my takeaways. There is a 10-minute exercise in this book that I'll discuss that'll just change your entire morning routine for the better. I will also share with you a fear I had creep up out of nowhere yesterday as I was redesigning my website, and the brave action I took to kind of move past it and onto some more productive work. In every part of society, the middlemen are being pushed out of the picture. No longer is someone coming to hire you, to invest in your company, to sign you, to pick you. It's on you to make the most important decision in your life. Choose yourself. James Altucher. Yes, of course we know the presidential inauguration is scheduled for January 20th or 21st, I believe. And if you are like me, in a big family, lots of nieces and nephews, and lots of just friends from all over the place, then you have been inundated with a lot of different opinions about the upcoming presidential inauguration. There's two ways you can look at it, I like to think. One way of looking at it is the world is over. What the heck am I going to do with my life? And what the heck will the government do to change my current circumstance? Meaning, will they impose more taxes? Will laws get harsher that will prevent me from starting a business or having fun or whatever that may be? Or you can look at it as though you are waiting on nothing from no one. And so kind of piggybacking off of that James Altucher quote I read earlier, that you have to choose yourself. And so that's what I'm deciding to do this year. Choose myself. I will watch the presidential inauguration, but after that, my TV goes back off, my radio goes back off, and I am checking my Twitter feed less often. Because what I've noticed is the more I let that information in, negative information in about kind of what's going on, what's Trump tweeting out today, the more I get just negative in my own mind, negative about my circumstance, about my situation. So the best medicine, I think, is to turn it all off. Focus on what you've got going on. Focus on your goals. Focus on just the plans and executing each and every day. I did an exercise last month. I was invited to an elementary school. One of my good friends started a girls' club at her elementary school. And it was so fun to get back into the groove of just doing the speaking engagements. And I was so happy to start at an elementary school because, as you all know, or as you all may know, children will tell you like it is. They'll tell you what's on their mind, and they always are ready and willing to just show you what's going on in their head any moment. And so I was so happy to go speak to this girls' club. We did an exercise. In the exercise, I asked them to focus on them. I asked them to focus on themselves. I split the girls up into probably two groups. And we had one group with two girls in it, and they were going to be kind of like the instigators or the chatters. They were going to be the chatterers. And then we had one of the girls be the other student in a classroom. And so what the object of this exercise was for the two girls who were in a group was to talk quietly, as quiet as elementary school girls can, about the girl that was standing over in an opposite corner on the other side of the room. And so the way this took place was so fun and fascinating, the way it played out. Of course, the two girls that were asked to chat about the other girl started just saying random stuff. I asked them to be as nice as they can, because again, this was an exercise, not reality, at least not in this moment. And then at the end of the exercise, I brought the single girl girl, the girl who was asked to stand on the opposite side of the room while these other two girls were chatting about her, to come to the front of the room. And I asked her, how was she feeling about the chatting going on about her? And we did this exercise 3 times, and what I figured out and what the whole classroom learned is that, we don't know what's going on when we are not around, when people are not talking directly to us, when people are talking behind our back, when things are going on outside of our control. And so the best thing that we can do is be watchmen over our actions and control the things that we can't control. And so the girl in the middle of the room, even though she was frustrated about this assumption that she had, the other 2 girls were saying mean things about her. What I asked each girl who was that single girl to do was to think critically next time about the situation. How do you know these girls were talking about you if you weren't in that group, if you weren't in that conversation? So let's be more optimist and less pessimistic about a situation like that. Let's think positive about the things that we don't have control over. She had no control over the other 2 girls in their conversation. And so that's what I want to empower you today. Again, with what's going on in our society and our government today, we must, as individuals, control the controllables in our own lives, controlling the things that we can control. I was able to start a pretty good book over the Christmas and Thanksgiving break. The book is called Hustle by Neil Patel. It has so many great takeaways, so many great points that I will summarize on my website later this week, but definitely wanted to focus on one really good one that I stated earlier in the intro that would change your entire morning routine. And he called it the 10-minute rule. And so when we look at what distracts us, when we look at all the things that are coming our way, begging, pleading for our attention, if we can take these techniques and put them into practice, I think can alter how we get things done. So what you can do is set a 10-minute timer either on your phone or set the kitchen stove or set the microwave like I do sometimes when I don't know where my phone is set a 10-minute timer, and whatever you're going to focus on, have it in front of you. And so you cannot do anything else until those 10 minutes are over. So if you're working on your blog, if you're working on a project for work, if you are working on a business plan for your business, you have to focus on it for 10 minutes. And what Neil Patel says in this book is he says, breathe it in, focus on it, and finish it, and only it, and then you can move on. Give yourself 10 minutes to exert real control over your destiny. If all you need is 10 minutes, could you find that in the morning? Could you find that early in the morning by waking up maybe 20 minutes earlier, getting situated and getting, your stuff organized to start your 10 minutes? Or could you find that in the afternoon on your lunch break, before your lunch break starts, diving into that 10-minute activity until it's done? I'm sure you can relate, but I got scared out of my mind yesterday while updating my website. And the thought that crossed my mind, I have no clue where it came from, but it said, who the heck does she think she is? I like to call this voice the who do you think you are voice. And it's a voice that creeps up right when you're on the edge of getting ready to do something transformative, getting ready to do something for you, getting ready to execute on a goal that says, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to do that, to say that, to be this person? Now, me practicing to be more of the optimist and less of the pessimist, I like to give that voice the benefit of the doubt. And tell her, look, I know you're trying to look out for me. I know you're trying to keep me from falling flat on my face and making a fool of myself, but I got this. And that's what I repeat to myself. When that voice pops in over and over, I just say, I got this. I can do this. And if I don't have the skill, the technique, the whatever to get it done today, I will gain it over time. And so the goal is to keep doing it, keep executing, keep taking brave action, and keep just pressing forward. Remember, tell a man he is brave and you help him to become so. Thomas Carlyle. Thank you for listening to episode 4 of the Live Brave podcast. Happy New Year once again. You can learn more about the Beginner's Guide to Finding Your Brave and also tips and tricks on how to start your blog or website at www.erlinagreen.com. That is spelled EARLINA green.com. Thank you so much again for listening and Happy New Year.